Good evening, everybody. Rob Lee here. Do you have a gopher problem? Well, guess what? I did, but I don't anymore. So I've spent the last few months delving into everything, figuring out what works, what doesn't work, so you don't have to. So let's jump right into it. So as far as background, I've tried everything from firearms to flooding, from smoke bombs to explosions. That's right. Yeah, full Caddyshack. We're going to discuss each of these methods, and I'm going to talk about the efficacy of them. That way you can learn everything that I've figured out over these last few months. So first off, you need to understand your enemy if you want to combat them effectively. So a single pocket gopher can dig tunnels up to 200 yards per individual. This can include up to 3 mounds a day. Ask me how I know. Some of these tunnels have been documented to be up to 6 foot subterranean. Pocket gophers breed early spring to summer with litters of 3 to 7 young per year. So as you can imagine, these things can get out of hand pretty fast. So you ask, why am I on this mission? Well, a gopher ate my underground electric run into my gate, cost me about $1,000 in equipment rental and supplies for me to replace it myself. They gotta go. So first step, stomp all of your mounds down. This is how you identify where the active systems are. This is going to give you a good start. Then when you see fresh mounds, you know you have an active system. So pocket gophers are going to make mounds that are horseshoe shaped. Generally, the inside portion of the horseshoe is going to point towards the direction that the tunnel goes to within 180 degrees. So you can use a metal stake to poke down and locate it, or you can just dig it up and dig by hand to locate where the actual tunnel is. So these gophers are actually excavating and moving all this dirt up above the ground, and they actually backfill these holes. That way snakes or other predators can't come after them. So one of the first things we tried was underground smoke bombs. Loaded the family up, went to Tractor Supply. So the concept is that it fills the tunnel with toxic fumes and it eradicates your problem. I dumped about $50 worth of these smoke bombs into the tunnels. No results here. Second approach, Victor-style mechanical traps, also found courtesy of Tractor Supply. They were on clearance. They were on clearance for a reason. Your experience could vary. I've seen some people on YouTube that have had success with those, but it wasn't me. So we moved on to researching how to safely fill their tunnels with an oxygen propane mixture. So I rounded up the kids, homeschool science project for the day, and we modified a 50-foot extension cord where we could use it to remotely detonate the mixture, sending the current with a cattle prod. So we learned really fast that the mixture ratio is critical. Too much fuel, big fires. Too much oxygen, poor results. But when we got it right, I have to say this was probably one of the most fun methods. But still only about 50% efficacy. Not good enough. All right, so moving forward. Looking at reviews on Amazon, the last thing that I had not tried was the gopher hawk traps because I thought they were too expensive. Well, let me tell you, I've got 3 of them. So essentially the way that it works is this goes down inside the actual tunnel, and when the gopher runs through the middle of it, it hits the little trip piece, which causes it to activate. So here you can see what it looks like with a stuffed toy. However, I do want to say following the directions will work, but I think there's a better way to do it. So using the probe that you can purchase with the Gopher Hawk kit, I actually locate where I believe that the tunnel is. So you just poke it into the ground until you find a spot that has a little bit less resistance. And that's how you can tell when you entered the tunnel. However, after that, I start digging again. I dig it up, I access the tunnel, I visually and physically confirm that it's set in the tunnel. That's when I set the trap. Back to what I mentioned earlier, instinctually, they're going to want to come back and cover it up. So after you set the trap, that's when you wait. You see the yellow indicator, meaning that it's been tripped. I dig it up, confirm, then I feed it to my dogs. They love it. So wrapping it up, I was not sponsored. I bought my Gopher Hawks out of my own pocket, and I would highly recommend you do the same. They work great for me. Would have saved me a lot of time and effort through this process. So one thing I would ask, if you found this in any way helpful or you learned something, please like, please subscribe, help me out here. Hey, I appreciate it. Till next time.